All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stock market. Real Crypto here on the Real Stocks channel. Looking at the NASDAQ this morning, poking just ever so slightly higher a little bit. And I was looking at an IBD article yesterday. Gave me some pause about the market. Along with yesterday, I was finding out that the Russell 2000 had a pretty bad day and also closed yesterday with a pretty bad day. The NASDAQ has 9 distribution days. 9, that's quite significant. Quite significant. So that's something to be a little bit cautious about going forward here. So bear with me. I'm gonna go look up a few things. No one's watching the live stream yet here, so those of you watching the recording, give me a second. All right, I'm back. So we got the NASDAQ up almost 0.5%. Russell 2000 don't have futures on them, so I'm not quite sure exactly where we are there. However, we did have a pretty decent gap down down day yesterday. Now, one thing we draw on our charts here on the Russell is 2 support lines, and we're going to be coming up to both of them, it looks like, here fairly soon if this takes place. NASDAQ has something disturbing on it. It has 9 distribution days. If you don't know what a distribution day is, it's a day where it's fairly apparent that institutions sold off many of their positions in the indexes, which are just stocks. I mean, there's nothing crazy about positions. They're just stocks. So there's 9 distribution days, which is very heavy. I think with the last correction we saw, there was 8 or something like that, 8 or 9. But we're still kind of edging higher. So maybe this time around it's going to take more distribution days to tank the market. Let me pull up some Investors Business Daily here. Stock futures rise. Intel leads Dow. Data shows September hiring is buzzing. We did talk about October being the start of the end of the start of the fourth quarter, which is typically seasonally a very, very good month to trade. And so we should hopefully be getting some good movements coming on here. We see LLY right there slowly starting to curve up. Good day yesterday, closed at the high of the day with, look at that volume, average volume, which it hasn't really hit a ton here since we had this little base form where I had this little flat bottom. I haven't seen that a whole heck of a lot. So Eli Lilly looking pretty good. We have Boeing here, which if I zoom out, you'll be able to see that the larger base structure it's been forming since, looks like March or February. Yeah, pretty much the very end of February is right there. And then, so it's about an 8-month base, right? Or 7-month base. Volume declining into here, then volume accelerating again as it begins its climb up, and having some pretty good breakout days here recently. And so hopefully Boeing is off to the races. There's breakout day right there. It's another follow-through breakup day yesterday, which is right there. So Boeing's looking pretty good. Need to see how that continues to hold up. Home Depot didn't look so good yesterday. FFIV yesterday. What's up, Nighthawk? FFIV yesterday with a distribution day yesterday. Whiting Petroleum one that we've been looking pretty good there, coming up to a buy point at about that 56.47 level. You see that high. You can go a little bit above that high. IBD recommends about 10 cents, so 56.57. And then what's the other one I was going to look at? Fizz. How did you end up yesterday? Ended up selling off throughout the day, so we need to see how today happens, if we can rally off of that area right there. Doesn't look super convincing right now, but you got to give stocks the benefit of the doubt sometimes. And in this situation, we have a prior high. We came up to it. We're pulling back from it, and so we'll see how that plays out. Let's go check out some pre-market movers. All right, looks like some interesting. Ooh, Legend. Legrand Pharmaceuticals looks like it's doing pretty good. VTVT is up 38% to 277. There's a gap there at about 3 and change. It needs to be filled. NVCN. Not really very interesting situation going on here. High of $300. This has done quite a bit of reverse stock splitting recently. Something Oil already latched on to VIAV, right? Looks like a pretty good one. Hold on, I gotta blow my nose real quick. Yeah, we're gonna get through that VIAV. Daniel, distribution day is where the market sells off more than 0.2% in increasing volume, and that means just more than the previous day's volume. It's a fairly simple equation, and the NASDAQ has 9 of those such days, which is very heavy. All right, so NVCN there going about 20% higher, or almost, no, I'm sorry, 30% higher to about $3. So nothing major there, unfortunately. APVO. Let's get some perspective on these again. LGND, wow, that's a big pop up to 313 here. Way up here. That's a big gap for Legrand. Billy gapping up to about $15. So decent little gap up there. You could see it's had a little flag, or I'll say a larger flag right there. TRVN. Oh wow, that's been on a tear lately. Trevena, it's at $3, which is above this chart. So it's up about there. Okay, that's interesting. See if that gets sold off. But there's quite a bit of green volume here. That's very, very healthy. It's biotech. And it looks like they had a good reaction to one of their drugs. And that's quite a bit of buying there in TRVN. So that could get interesting pretty quick. So it's gapping up here. You don't want to buy in a gap like that after it's been up. You want to buy it for some kind of a base, which it broke out of. It looks like 3 days ago. TPX, nothing there. Pets. Ooh, looks horrible. MSB, okay, popping up there. PBR. 1449. So looks like it's closing this gap today. 1503 is the gap. That pretty much closes the gap right there. So yeah, I gotta see. Got to see how that reacts. That could become an island bottom. An island bottom, we saw one yesterday, is where you have a lot of price action with a gap before it and a gap after it. If this creates an island bottom, this probably will be a good leg going forward. Decent volume on the right side here, so that could be interesting. That could be pretty interesting there. So, I'm not sure if you want to play that, but it... Sorry, I'm trying to see what's going on with this bottom here. With all this crazy volume. So there's a pretty big accumulation going on right there. You see the wick? It's not quite, it should be here. It's not quite where it needs to be on this large candle, this closing wick. But it's doing okay. And that did kind of stop the move. You see it gapped lower and got bought again instantly, which is a good sign. And then gapping up here. Maybe an island bottom. It's not something I'm going to trade, but for some of you guys who are a little more aggressive, maybe that could be something decent for you. And then BBD again with more volume accumulation here on the right-hand side. That's about all we got. 1 minute to market open. We didn't have much else with IBD today. And they have another article here about Lululemon, which is LULU. Oh, they're going into menswear. Okay. So when you guys see a good stock, or what you think is a good stock, something that's always good to do is to look at the chart. If the chart isn't pointing in the right direction, if it's pointing downward, you kind of have to dismiss it. But that's Core's doing. Core's moved up a little bit after a pretty bad day yesterday. Wow, it's an interesting little gap down right there. Huya's up pretty big. Tilroy again. How did that end up yesterday? All right, the selling accelerated a little bit, filled that gap. Quad U breakout today. Looks like a little bit. And it's already sold off slightly. So, yeah, I would probably say, I mean, it's hard to say, 20 seconds into the day. But, yeah, I would say, yeah. A lot of times it seems to pull back a little bit and then go on. And so, looks like that's what it's doing. Not bad there. VIAV, someone was mentioned that. Yeah, so we pointed them out. I think it was yesterday was the first time we noticed them. I think. Yeah, looking okay. A little bit of selling in that prior candle, but holding up high. Looking pretty good right there on VIAV. Do you have a specific question on that, Noel? NASDAQ looking good here, not selling off, which is healthy. Volume is a little muted, which is not super mad at that. There we go. All right, so you by not running right now, giving us a little bit of an opportunity to breathe, which is always fun. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's going to start popping right away. Although I do like breathing, I will have to admit that. I'll admit that out in the open, guys. I like to breathe. I'm selling off a little bit. And you can see how this acts. The price action is pretty tight up here, so even though it's selling off a little bit, it's not very wide, which is healthy. Tighter price action is healthier than more wide price action. Excuse me, I forget how words work. Cores, Huya, IQ, Win. What's Win doing these days? Okay, not much. SIVB is one that we've been looking at recently. Has failed to go into highs. Let's throw an alert here, which I'm surprised they don't already have one. Darn it. Hold on, guys. Give me a couple minutes. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Did you guys tank the stock market for me? Breathing is overrated. Just ask a smoker. That's awesome. All right, NASDAQ holding its own. That's pretty good. All right, we got Tilroy, Fun, Win, Huya, Quad Use, Baba. What's Baba doing? There's your mom leaving, Ethan. Ethan, say hi to the people.
Hi.
There you go. There's Ethan. Torch, Triple D. You know what? Oh, I gotta share this with you guys. There's a guy on Quora that I found last night that I'm very, very intrigued by. Um, I don't know what his angle is yet. Maybe he's just a nice guy, but shoot. I just signed up for his newsletter last night too. Anyway, he talks about Brandon. Thank you for saying hi to Ethan. Ethan, Brandon says hi.
Hi.
He talks about. See, Quora is nice, but it's weird at the same time. So who do I follow? So you're trying to find people I follow, and that's impossible. Shoot. Anyway, he was talking about. Long story short, he was talking about 3D printing stocks. What's up, Eli? This guy was talking about 3D printing stocks, and we know about DDD. His favorite, though, is SSYS. So if you've been trading for over 4 years, you'll probably remember the boom in 3D printing stocks where they were going to take over the world. And this is pretty much what happened to that. It did that. Didn't do a whole heck of a lot. But this gentleman used Amazon and the whole dot-com bubble as an example. And he eloquently put into words a few things that I really didn't do I haven't put together as well as he did. Where the dot-com bubble, and everyone said, internet's going to change the world, blah, blah, blah. And we had the dot-com bubble, which, was right here. But if you go to Amazon, it looks obviously completely different. Okay, so there's the dot-com bubble right there. Okay. Amazon was whopping $100, went all the way down to $5. There's the low of 551. But what he said was that these companies did reinvent the world. They did change the world, and now look where they are. He's like 15 years later, you see the result of that. So he's likening SSYS, which is what we just looked at, this peak over here. He's likening that peak to this peak, right? Like, you never know. You never know what company is going to do what Amazon did. And granted, only one company of the dot-com bubble did what Amazon did. You would have had good gains in other stocks as well. Don't get me wrong, but if you were to spread your money across 4 or 5 of the top stocks and hold them for 15 years, maybe 2 of them would do good. You never know if you're going to get the one that goes up, 30,000%. But anyway, the whole point is that when you have these major super cycles, these technological revolutions, they take a while to fully play out. You get the early euphoric response, which is what we saw with the dot-com bubble, and then later on you get these much more larger responses that are that are this essentially. He mentions Netflix as well, which had a very similar reaction. So you got streaming, you've got e-commerce, you've got all these different things, and he's thinking, Stratasys for a very longer term hold, this being one of those plays. Anyway, I forget the guy's name, and I can't find it here on Quora, but I ended up following the dude yesterday on my phone. I don't even know if that's linked to my account here on my computer. But the whole point remains, I think that's pretty is a pretty poignant answer that he gave. I really liked his explanation. He did a good job. Okay, go away. I want to find this guy, but anyway, keep that in mind going forward, guys. If you do want to have a longer term portfolio, you need to look for those major technological disruptors. And I just thought it was great. I thought what he did was really good. My Slack chat, yeah. So, well, it's mainly crypto, but I have a stocks channel. It's not super interesting, but you're welcome to. Definitely welcome to join. Go to realcrypto.com, real-crypto.com, and right there on the homepage, you can sign up right there. It's just my newsletter. Nothing crazy there. In fact, I still don't think I've sent out a newsletter. I've had that up there for almost a year. So that's how you sign up. You'll get in right there. All right, selling off a little bit, up 0.3%. Tilroy sold off. Huya and YY maintaining a little bit. Oh, looks like Huya's broke down. YY didn't, or IQ. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's why. IQ hasn't quite broken down yet. We'll see if that does. That's why I have that cup. Oh, no, Brandon, it is me. I did not unmute my microphone. I apologize. Sorry, I don't know how much I did or did not say, but anyway, I'm back. Thanks for mentioning that, Brandon. I caught it right away when you said that. And there's the ES. Look at that ES, dude. That's a beautiful little pattern, guys. That's a gorgeous little pattern on the ES. The ES is the S&P 500 E-mini futures. So that's pretty good right there. Love my kid singing. He likes to sing. I think it's great. All right, I'm going to print off some stuff for my kiddo. No, it's fine. I think I may actually get some headphones. I think I may move away from the mic too much sometimes. Oh, what is that? Hold on, I'll mute it as this thing prints. All right, we're all done there. Cool. Yeah, Eli Lilly looking fantastic. Let's see what else the market has to give us today. Let's go to IBD and see what they have to say on their opening page there. Nothing's really changed in terms of their articles, and they don't have any stocks on the move yet. Of course, this page hasn't fully loaded. They have probably the worst performing large WordPress site out there right now. It's just horrible. Absolute garbage. Well, Eli, that's the plan, isn't it? That's definitely the plan. Intel reversal. Let's check out Intel. I think it's going back up. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. Okay. I'm not super mad at that, as a matter of fact. No major trend. I mean, you've got this trend break here. Looks like a kind of a rinse and repeat situation. You got this break right there. You got this break right there. The problem is last time this happened, and I don't know if you can necessarily say it's going to happen again, is this bounced up in a very similar fashion with 1-2 bounces. 1-2 bounces, and then kind of failed after that. So maybe we're here in this market cycle. It's hard to say that that's really just going to run. But yeah, I mean, it could be. You don't necessarily want to live in the past. You want to live in the future here. We have broken this weekly downtrend. So yeah, I mean, maybe a play up here. The volume isn't very extravagant, which you would hope it would be a little bit more extravagant. So another thing, keeping talking about the cycles of companies, is Tesla. Tesla yesterday announcing tremendous numbers in terms of their. I think they finally ended the quarter. I don't know if Tesla has an actual Twitter account, but I saw a chart about the cars that they've been delivering, and it was crazy. No, no movement in Tesla. This would not be an immediate thing, but this would be, this would definitely be kind of a longer term play. What the hell? Oh wow, just a bunch of Tesla shorts posting a bunch of crap on Twitter. Anyway, I was looking at a chart about deliveries where, here we go. So this isn't the exact chart I saw, but something similar. So you have deliveries like this, and then they ramped up here to about 90,000. This is almost I think it's like closer to 80,000 or something. But this is fairly accurate. It just shot up. It just shot up here. Trying to see if I can find that chart. There's a lot of BS here though. This is just TSLA Twitter feed, which is just garbage. Anyway, Tesla really ramping up manufacturing. I know there's a lot of 80,000 manufactured. Yeah, exactly. I know there's a lot of thank you, Ethan. There's a lot of news and stuff right now, but like for the longer term, I think once this cycle of BS is over and done with, around $300 Tesla will have been a pretty good place to buy Tesla. Just a thought I have, nothing necessarily giving me that conclusion in the charts, but it's just a thought I had. And if you're holding Tesla, obviously it has to be a longer term play. Tesla's really been choppy, so you have to be willing to hold Tesla for the long term. All right, Eli Lilly looking good. Same with Boeing. Eli's stock shed's not running. It's been trying to update for a while now. I'm not sure if it's the server's down or not. I just get a spinning wheel at the top. Yeah, it's not updating. I thought about it. Maybe I should throw this on my home server, Eli. It'll just be up all the time. Let me know if that's something that you want to do, and we can just throw it on my home server, and it'll just be up. All right, what do we got? We got Tilroy holding its own up here. And as we saw, Kron earlier was actually leading lower. Huya up about 4%, just kind of chilling right there. TTD, CDNA, newer, ENDP. Oop, what's that? ENDP. Oh, we talked about this yesterday. Looks like it's trying to break out today. And the volume isn't super heavy, although we're about a half an hour into the trading day. Yeah, I did. I got in, I think it was yesterday morning. I got in yesterday morning. That was Monday, right? No, I got in Monday morning. So the day before yesterday. Yeah, I did get into LLY. I'm not near as heavy as I should be, Eli, to be honest with you. I'm actually heavier in Boeing than I am in... actually, no, they're even. Boeing's already up 28%. Yeah, Boeing's up a tremendous amount more than LLY. But I should be heavier in these, to be honest with you. You know, I think I may just rectify that mistake right now. I'm just going to get rid of MJ altogether. I'll probably get rid of... I'll probably get rid of a few ones and then just load up in these two. Is really what I think I should do. My IQ trade is negligible. It's $200 right now. Already lightened up on my Home Depot trade. Yeah. I already sold it. I guess I'm getting... You know what? That just felt like a greed trade, which sucks because I did another one. But yeah, no, I did. I just got out of MJ. I'm just trying to get some cash out. You know, I'm trying to get rid of some risk, which is options, and get into some better risk, which is options. Yeah, Home Depot did not work out very well. It may still. Keep in mind, look, you buy January. It doesn't look very bad. You buy January options. I lightened up on Home Depot, but I still have looks like one call. I just kept one. It's not broken by any stretch of the imagination. It just didn't run immediately. And, you know, you have to keep in mind not all these run immediately. There's nothing broken with this chart. Nothing at all. Home Depot, I think, is going to do just fine. But it's having the patience to kind of let it go. Yeah, I'm pretty light too. But I want to get heavier in Eli Lilly. Doesn't look, what looks bogus about it? Doesn't look bogus. Beautiful cup. That's a beautiful cup. Beautiful cup. There's kind of two handles going on here. You know, sitting up here towards all-time highs, it pulled back to the prior high. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, if you see this 2 months from now, it's probably going to be up here at about 220, 230. And of course, that's up here at the end of the year. But Boeing will probably be up here at 450. At least that's the hope here. Looks like Lilly pulling back a little bit. There's Match.com up 1.79%. Look like it's going to continue its move, so that'll be good. That's a nice little consolidation in Match. Boeing. Boeing's getting very elevated. It's up. Oh, it's up 4%. You're still within a buy area. Yeah, I still don't have the stock shed still not up, Eli, so I guess I can go back to my spreadsheet. I'm not sure what you would get in terms of a percentage target on Boeing right now. It's probably not going to be too bad. I mean, look, that's good volume those previous 2 days, guys. So wait for a pullback. Yeah, there you may get a pullback, but we need stock shed up. Should probably get yeah, I probably should work on getting that on my server today. Oh, speaking of which, Eli, late last night, I finally worked through all that code. And there it is. All of my IDs for my photos in one array. And I found a pretty good Discord channel for Node. And here's the whole route right there, buddy. Bam. So some guy helped me out, and I had 100 lines of code. He took it down to 21 lines of code. And it looks great. Looks great, works great. I love it. So, pretty dope. I'm excited. I'm going to work on that today too. Super excited about that. Now I can actually, I'm going to make that into a higher level function that I could pop in whenever I want. It'd be fantastic. Love it. Love it. Ooh, AMRN, what are you doing today? You still in AMRN? Okay, nice pullback. I missed that pullback yesterday. Darn it. Yeah, I just needed a lot of yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I didn't know. I know a lot more today than I knew about async await than when we talked last. I guess just put it that way. But AMRN probably good for a pullback buy here, guys. Probably pretty good for a pullback buy. You see this low volume day yesterday We noted this had the huge gap up. Talked about a bull flag. Could be good for could be good for another run here. Have to wait and see how that plays out. But Twitter's up a little bit. Not really. Still not interested in Twitter. Forget you, Twitter. I traded horribly with you, and I'm never gonna let you hurt me again. Never gonna let you hurt me again. What's iRobot doing? Ooh, guys, if you missed iRobot, here's an opportunity for iRobot. If you guys missed it, that's pretty cool. If you guys like floor vacuum cleaners or whatever else they're doing these days, I don't know. Paycom, what's Paycom doing? If I can chase you down. All right, so Paycom, remember that breakout we talked about there that I missed all of? Yeah, there you go. Hit that target like a mofo, guys, up 43%. Gosh, I would have made so much money. I mean, just so literally so much money. Like literally, that would have made my year, that move right there. I've not been making good decisions this year. But a pretty good pullback here. Pretty good pullback right there on Paycom. That's not bad right there. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna bounce out of here. Gonna get my kids ready for school. Not much has changed with the market, so go ahead and keep plugging at it. Take a look at these ones. We got a couple opportunities. Boeing is, if you're buying straight stock, Boeing is still buyable. Eli Lilly's definitely still buyable. It really just broke out, only about 1.7%. So that's not too far out of any kind of a buy range there. Keep an eye on Paycom, not necessarily for today. If you want to get a pullback buy, maybe you could. We talked about AMRN, wherever it is. Yeah, there it is. AMRN today being a possible good pullback buy. We talked about a few things here today. Match looking pretty good. Match is looking good for a good continuation, a little consolidation. Anytime you get these little consolidations, guys, after these breakups like this, they're always a good opportunity to add. Pretty much anywhere in here would have been a pretty decent place to add on Match too. So, all right, guys, I'm going to bounce out of here. Have a good day. See y'all tomorrow.